What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. If you're just now coming off of that recent video, welcome back. If you are just here for the first time, also welcome. We're going to be discussing, does the games begin, or the beginning of the decisive battle? I don't know why it's different on two different social media sites, but whatever. Is the new set standard for Dragon Ball SHF. So let's quickly dive into this. So here's the product page in case you haven't seen it for the first time. 4,400 yen, about 35 bucks. Hopefully, if the tariff thing doesn't dramatically, make all this stuff more expensive, yada, yada, yada. Whole different conversation. April 25th is when the pre-orders go live. October is when it releases. Now, getting into the nitty gritty here. This is all of the changes or updates or things that they're testing on this figure. So they're doing a whole thing where you can make the neck regular size, like a regular length, shorter or longer. It says the area where his head meets his chest is capable of vertical movement, so you can adjust the length of his neck to recreate specific looks. Pretty cool change or thing that they're testing. I know a lot of people have seen various figures come out across the last 2 years even, that sometimes either the head sits really low or the neck makes it look really elongated. You know what I mean? Like various different things. It's different across every figure, but I do think this is an interesting change, and we'll be very curious to see how it works, in hand, if it's something that needs to be there as an option for every figure going forward. You know what I mean? Like, we'll have to see. The standard butterfly joints, I think, obviously there might be a whole different internal system, but I do think we're still going to get the good range we've been getting on most of these, updated engineered figures. We've got the waist, which if you listen to the last video, I do say more or less I'm not sure how I feel about the sash and the crotch piece being kind of in that seamless design a little bit. Cell Saga Gohan, which more or less a lot of the setup here is kind of the same. The Cell Saga Gohan at least doesn't have the crotch part here, where it seems like it's one whole large piece that goes up into where, his stomach area would be. They do have a little tiny part in the Cell Saga Gohan that's kind of like the ab portion, the sculpted ab piece, but it's so small you really wouldn't even be able to tell. It's literally just kind of sitting in this area tucked away inside the gi. You really can't even tell. And I'm curious to see if they have the same articulation internals as the Cell Saga Gohan, but at a larger scale, because the Cell Saga Gohan cannot bend like this naturally, just with the way it's set up. But at a larger scale, maybe they could accomplish that just fine, or it could just be on a simple regular ball peg hinge, similar to how the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff is set up. And there's one other figure off the top of my head I was gonna say. I think maybe like Denji, for example, from Chainsaw Man. It could be set up that way, where it's literally just the articulation piece for the ab crunch, and it's just hidden away, under the soft plastic gi. Absolutely could be that way, which would give him a lot of easy range, since all he has to deal with is a hopefully soft plastic sash and crotch piece. Let's hope that it's that same soft plastic material that the Cell Saga Gohan has. I'm not sure about the Daima Goku since I don't have it in hand, but from the pictures I've seen people have been posting lately, now that they have it in hand, it does seem pretty flexible. So hopefully it's more or less the same, and that'll give a lot of good easy range that should be the standard for most figures. This back and forward crunch has always been a gripe with me when it comes to some of the larger figures we've gotten, and some of the smaller ones across the Dragon Ball line. It's just, there's no reason why none of these figures at this point, with what you've shown to be capable, none of them can't bend this far, right? Getting into the knees, they are keeping that same kind of deal with the Diamond line. I was hoping that they would go back to how they usually were doing it with the double jointed looking knees, from Superhero Gohan and stuff like that. But it seems like this is a new trend that they are picking up on with more seamless designs. And I'm going to say again, like I said in the prior video, for $35, I can't really say I'm, going to complain about it, because I do think it's well worth them trying to test some new things out via budget figures. I think it's better than doing it for premium Bandai stuff at this point, because that was one of my larger problems with like Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo, is if you're going to test that stuff and it doesn't get received well for a premium Bandai figure, then it's kind of like an end all be all thing. That particular character or that design of that character may not get another figure like anytime soon. And now people who may not like the way you did that one, you know, have to wait who knows how long. Versus if you had just released, let's say, the same kind of Gohan for $35 or $40, something cheaper than what you originally had the premium Bandai thing at. And a lot more people could get their hands on it, get feedback, and say they like this about it. When you do make that high-end version of it, now it's going to be 100 times better. That's just how I feel about it. But anyways, yeah, so the knees, at the end of the day, I think it look a lot better here, just because the way that the whole entire leg is sculpted and molded, it looks a lot more seamless, and you can still tell where it's at, but it's a lot less front forward, I guess, you know, in your face. Whereas the Daima Goku, just because with the way that it's a lot more smoothed out, you can easily tell where that bend is going to happen, and it may not look as nice and noticeable. And the way it kind of bends here doesn't really look as interesting as it kind of looks here, with all of the, you know, sculpted folds and stuff on the pants. Here with the shin, you're getting that change where it looks like it can pop out forward and back a little bit further, hoping it has an actual boot swivel, since it is changes to the joint, I get, or a joint has been added there. Hopefully it's not just kind of a forward and back kick thing, you know. That's fine. I know real life people don't obviously move their shins left or right like that, in the way you would with an action figure, but it's an action figure at the end of the day. It should be able to have as much posability as you really want. And I mean, I even have the actual Cell Saga Gohan in my hands right now while I'm talking. And I mean, you can move a little bit of his boot left and right. So I really don't see a reason for them to kind of limit that here. And if this is a change that sticks for, you know, this Goku, and maybe other future Gokus, it should be something that also sticks for other characters in the future that, you know, either have similar designs or whatever. At this point, this Goku clearly shows that for a budget price, I think we can definitely see crazy articulated figures or crazy figures with new and improved different, you know, technology incorporated into it. There's really no reason I feel like we should be stuck in the 2.0 age of the Saiyan raised on Earth mold. Don't get me wrong, you know, for stuff like event exclusives, I really don't care what they do, as long as it's like not a new character that won't come out again for like 5+ years. Yeah, I think that this is what I want to see going forward. I think a lot more people would like to see, for example, this new Goku right here. If they ever need to release a Super Saiyan Blue Goku from another movie or whatever, I mean, they've got a really good base here, and there's not a lot of reason I feel like you need to go re-release Super Saiyan Blue Goku from Dragon Ball Super Broly. We've got a whole new mold to work with here. I think it's time to start pushing it forward, because again, we'll move into the phase where, let's say a new collector is just in an aisle, right? They're walking through Target or something. They'll see this Goku and be like, they'll see this Goku next to, let's say, Saiyan raised on Earth Goku. I think they're gonna want the new and improved thing much more. They might get both if they're hardcore like that, right? But they're gonna see this Goku and be like, oh wow, that looks crazy. Oh my god, it looks like almost like a little mini statue with how it looks and the way it looks on hopefully the presentation of the box is showing the good articulation on it. But you know, I think they would want something like this, and to see another, let's say, Super Saiyan Blue Goku with this kind of mold for like $35, hopefully at that point in time. Absolutely, I think someone would want that more than the old 2.0 looking one with the faces looking not the best. I mean, they're not horrible, but they're old. You know what I mean? I think it's finally time we start changing the game a little bit, because there are a whole bunch of new collectors every single day who get into this line, and I mean, you're gonna keep feeding them essentially with all the new stuff you're doing. But at this point, we need to see more new stuff at the budget price. And not necessarily for premium Bandai. You know, I think they can chill a little bit more on that. So far, Dragon Ball is like one of the 3 or 4 lines that they have that is almost like 75% premium Bandai for a lot of stuff. I know they have other stuff like, you know, Super Sentai and Ultraman and stuff like that. That also kind of hits that. But yeah, you know, majority of this video, like I said, I wanted to discuss kind of how the figure is and is it the new standard for the line. And I think for the budget side of it, I want to see this going forward. We also again have the Daima Vegeta, the adult version, releasing soon. That's also going to set a new standard for Vegetas going forward. I really don't want to see another armored Vegeta with the 2.0 style mode. It's not the most horrible thing, but for the time period we're in now and what they've shown to be able to do, it's time to kick it into high gear, I think. And now that we're kind of clearing the Daima phase out a little bit and we're getting back into what they were doing before, which was Cell Saga, and you know, hopefully they go back to the Z movies. I mean, that was something that they were doing a little bit. But now that we're getting back to where we were, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they drop next and see what they do with it, right? Whatever they do with the next Vegeta, I'm hoping that it's crazy, because I'm waiting for a super Vegeta. And I think that with how Daima Vegeta was presented, it could look pretty cool. We just got to see it in promos hopefully soon, with maybe a semi-perfect cell. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments. Do you guys agree? You guys think that this Goku sets a new, you know, kind of standard for the line going forward, being that this is like the first real official, you know, 3.0 Goku. I don't even want to call it 3.0 though. Like it's more than that. It's more than a 3.0. It's more than a 4.0. This figure is trying so many different things all in one from various different figures that they've released in the last year or two. I think it's safe to say like it's just a whole new set standard with this figure in general. And whatever they do going forward, I think it will benefit a lot from getting this figure out there and having it get feedback from various people, a lot more feedback at that point, because it's a budget figure too. A lot more people will be able to get it in hand and experience it. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that. And yeah, hopefully we get another reveal of some Dragon Ball stuff. They could just be holding on some more stuff for San Diego Comic-Con, which isn't too far away. Usually we start getting some news about that, I think, around May. So be on the lookout. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video. There may be some new third-party updates out there. Have to go check. But do check the community post for more updates on that stuff. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.